bigamist who was caught out when one of his wives spotted him on Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway, has been jailed. Daniel Gundry was busted when Helen Gundry, her daughter Daisy and son Alex spotted him with Susan Brooker during a surprise wedding on the show. Gundry, 39, of Ashford, Surrey, initially denied he had married Susan but later admitted bigamy. Magistrates sitting in Warrington said he was guilty of deceiving both women and causing them humiliation, as the court heard he had deceived both women over money. As he was jailed for 6 months today, Helen and her daughter left the court in tears. Dan and Sue, pictured at his second wedding. Daniel Gundry on Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway, Image, ITV, his lies unraveled when he appeared on ITV at the surprise wedding of Susan's sister Michelle Blackburn and her fiancé Sam Blackburn, Image, ITV. He has been lying for a long time, so I'm just glad that finally he's been found out, she said after the sentencing. In a victim impact statement, Helen told how she had suffered sleepless nights and depression, and Susan said her whole world had caved in and her life was going in slow motion. Daniel and Helen Gundry married in 1998 and had lived apart since they split in 2010. Sue and Dan had got together shortly after, but Helen thought the couple had split up when she agreed to give it another go with him in 2016. But what Helen didn't know was that cheating Gundry was still with Sue and had married her in the Seychelles by forging documents. Helen Gundry and Susan Brooker are now friends. Image, Andy Stenning, Daily Mirror. Gundry and Susan on Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway, Image, ITV. While Helen saw pictures of the union, Gundry told her it had only been a blessing. Speaking to the Sunday Mirror in April 2016, Helen said, "There was never a divorce. We were separated until a year ago when he convinced me to get back together. Daisy and I were set to move to Dubai to live with Dan in June. Now the thoughts crossed my mind that he wanted 2 lives out there, me and Sue. I wouldn't put anything past him." Dan told me he had split up with Sue last year. The year before that, I saw a picture of their Seychelles wedding online and asked him what he was playing at as we were still married. Unsuspecting first wife Helen, 53, saw him on the show with 45-year-old Susan and immediately rang him up to demand answers. Image, ITV. He told me it was just a blessing and I believed him. His lies unraveled when he appeared on ITV's Saturday Night Takeaway, hosted by Ant and Dec, at the surprise wedding of Susan's sister Michelle Blackburn and her fiancé Sam Blackburn. Unsuspecting first wife Helen, 53, saw him on the show with 45-year-old Susan and immediately rang him up to demand answers. Helen said in 2016, "It's our favorite TV show. There was a secret wedding. All of a sudden I thought, no, it can't be. Dan was walking off a coach with Sue. I think I choked. Daisy yelped, 'Oh my God, it's Dad, he's with Sue.'" The wedding on Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway, Image, ITV. Helen and Dan's marriage certificate, Image, Sunday Mirror. "I had to walk out so I didn't break down. Daisy virtually collapsed, literally in shock. Alex had to hold her, she was shaking and crying. I came back downstairs and we just cuddled. I think we both went into shock. I don't think I cried until the day after. I was so angry and went on Facebook." Despite having previously been trying to persuade her to move out to Dubai with him, Daniel dodged her questions and portrayed her to Susan as just a crazy, embittered ex. But Helen put a post on Facebook and the truth quickly came out, leaving both women's lives in tatters. Each reported him separately to the police and now they have found the ultimate revenge by meeting up and becoming friends. Helen was Daniel's first wife. Newfound friends Helen and Susan said Gundry, who was also cautioned for obstructing police, should have been punished much more. Helen, who told the Mirror in 2016 of her shock at seeing her husband on telly with someone else, said, "I want to warn people what Daniel's like. He has got away with it and he'll think he's invincible now." And Susan, who branded Gundry an absolute psycho, added, "It's disgusting. He manipulated, he calculated, he hurt 2 families and they've just let him off." Susan met IT manager Gundry in 2010 when they were both living in Dubai. She was recovering from the breakup of her first marriage and he had gone there to work during a separation from Helen. Helen Gundry and Susan Brooker, Image, Andy Stenning, Daily Mirror. He told Susan was going through a divorce and friendship turned to romance, leading to him proposing in 2013. He popped the question at Dubai's Jumeirah Beach Hotel on Valentine's Day and their 2015 wedding was preceded by a blessing in the Seychelles. Susan, who has a 10-year-old son, moved into a dream home with a swimming pool with Gundry and enjoyed a year of bliss. But in March 2016, the wedding of Susan's sister Michelle Blackburn was featured on Saturday Night Takeaway, and the deceit was exposed. Susan said, "Daniel was excited to go on TV, but when I watch it back, he was trying to hide from the cameras. If it wasn't for Saturday Night Takeaway, I'd be oblivious." The truth was confirmed to Susan after Gundry lied to her that his company's lawyer had got a gagging order on Helen and Daniel with newborn Daisy. Image, Sunday Mirror. She then found proof he was still wed to Helen, who lives in Cheshire. Not only had he got back with her, he was even encouraging her and their 17-year-old daughter Daisy to move out to Dubai as well. Last year, the two women began exchanging texts and emails, before agreeing to meet up. Helen said, "I was really nervous about meeting Susan, and it was very strange seeing her in person." Gundry is now believed to be back in the UK. Bride Michelle, whose wedding he featured in, said, "I can't find words to describe him.